Well, hello, Lynx family. Jeffrey Cranford here, and I'm really excited about the next, I don't know, 5, maybe 6 weeks. We're going to do a little survey of, well, what's sometimes called the faith chapter, the hall of faith, if you will, Hebrews chapter 11. And what's so radical about this is that, well, it's going to take us to places that maybe you haven't thought of before. I think a lot of times when we think about faith, well, we think about faith for salvation. And obviously, that's the entry. By salvation comes by what? By grace through faith. We know that. And well, maybe you don't know that and you're just new to this devotional. Salvation comes with grace. It's God's grace towards us, and we receive it by faith. So it's certainly the entry into what we're going to see into, well, an unseen realm. And we sometimes think about faith being responsible for, well, we've got, Shelly, who plays in our Lady Nine Holers on Thursdays, and her knee's been bothering her. And so if we can muster up enough faith, maybe her knee will be made well, or a doctor will heal it. And that's a miracle too. And that's oftentimes where our faith starts to lag. We understand faith leads to salvation, and we understand faith sometimes when we apply it can lead to maybe a miracle or a healing or something like that. But I want to take you over the next few weeks into, well, a deeper look at faith. Now, I'm going to introduce this term to you now. I want to call it the Cosmic Restoration Project. And we're going to go down through this Hebrews chapter 11, and we're going to look at each individual citing that Paul gives as it relates to those men and women who, well, by faith, 19 times in this chapter, again, of the book of Hebrews, it says by faith Enoch, by faith Abel, by faith Abraham, by faith Moses, by faith Sarah. So we see that over and over. Now, what we want to look at is, well, what by faith? What did they do by faith? And you might be shocked at some of the things that seem, well, almost inconsequential in some ways in your mind. Like, that's their act of faith? I mean, I thought it would be by faith they fed the poor. By faith, they gave up their life and they moved to Nicaragua to be a missionary or something like that. We sometimes think like that, and we're going to see, well, what was Paul trying to address? So I want to, again, we're going to look first next week at a definition, if you will, or at least how faith operates. There aren't many things in the Bible where we get faith is or grace is, but in this case we do. Faith is and then we're going to fill that in as a definition next week. And then we're going to go back and we're going to kind of chronicle some of these by faith and see, well, what would that have to do? What would that have to do with me in the 21st century? And again, I want to introduce you to this concept. Well, how do I engage in this cosmic restoration project? I'm going to try to defend that idea to you over the coming weeks. So I hope you're going to tune in. I hope you're going to be excited. I hope your Links Fellowship, if you lead with your PDF, I hope you guys are going to, and women are going to be able to go in and go a little bit deeper in your understanding of what Paul is trying to get at. Well, really is the very substance of things we cannot see. I'm excited to talk to you next week.